Fables of La Fontaine. The Lion in Love. Lady, whose charms were meant to be a model for the Graces three, lend graciously your gentle ear, and but one simple fable hear. You'll see, without profound alarm, a lion quelled by Cupid's arm. Love rules with such a tyranny, happy those shunning slavery, who the harsh monarch only know by song and poem, not by blow. When I dare speak of love to you, pardon the fable, no whit true, that gives me courage to bring it, perhaps with more of zeal than wit, a simple offering, rough and rude, of my devoted gratitude. In times when animals could speak, the lion came intent to seek mankind's alliance, wherefore not? Since beasts had then by nature got courage, intelligence, and skill, a bearing too by no means ill. Now hear what happened, if you will. A lion of a noble race saw in a vale a pretty face, a shepherdess's, understand, and instantly he claimed her hand. The father, prudent and pacific, preferred a suitor less terrific. To give his daughter seemed too bad, yet how refuse so wild a lad? If he refused, perhaps there'd be a marriage still, clandestinely. The maiden liked her dashing wooer, her boisterous, reckless, blustering suer, and playing with the creature's mane, combed it and smoothed it over again. The prudent father, half afraid to spurn the lover of the maid, said, "But my daughter's delicate, your claws may hurt your little mate. And when you fondle and caress, lion, you'll tear her and her dress. Permit me, sir, to clip each paw. It shall be done without a flaw. And by the by, in the meanwhile, your teeth 'twould be as well to file. Your kisses then would be less rough, and hers far sweeter, that's enough." The lion, blinded by affection, obeyed the artful man's direction. Toothless and clawless, he grew prouder, a fortress without guns or powder. They loosed the mastiff on him soon, and he was butchered before noon. O love, when bound by you, Prudence, to thee we say adieu. Well, there you have it. The Lion in Love. Well, what's this all about? I used to tell this fable to my students years ago when I was teaching English. So basically, there was a lion long ago when lions could talk, and he saw a beautiful shepherdess in a clearing in the woods, and he fell instantly in love with her, and she actually fell in love with him too. So her father was in a bind. He had a real dilemma. On the one hand, if he said, "No, you can't marry my daughter," well, the lion could have become angry with him and probably killed him. Or if he didn't allow this wedding to take place, the forbidden fruit aspect would come in, and that would make the lion and his daughter only want to get married more, and they could secretly elope and have a clandestine marriage. So he didn't want that either. So what could he do? So he said, well, look, you can have my daughter, of course. I'd love to have you as a son-in-law, but look at your claws. If you try to hug and kiss my daughter, well, you'll tear her to shreds. And if you try to kiss her, your teeth, you'll bite her lips off. So if you want to marry my daughter, which, of course I would love you to do, well, first of all, you're going to have to remove those claws. So he said, oh, sure, no problem. I'll do anything for your daughter. So the lion agrees to have his claws removed. Now, oh, well, your teeth, too. I mean, you can't have teeth like that, so you're going to have to file them down, get rid of the canine teeth. They're too dangerous. So he agreed, got a couple of his teeth yanked, got the rest of them filed down nice and flat. So he became like a fortress with no guns. He became like a battleship with no cannons. Nature had given him courage, intelligence, skill, and a very imposing bearing. It's like the story of Prometheus and Epimetheus. When Prometheus made man, he sculpted him so perfectly, and Epimetheus was making all the other animals, and Epimetheus was giving them all these skills and abilities and talents and weapons. He gave the elephant size and thick hide and powerful tusks, and he gave the lion these terrible teeth and claws and a mane to protect his neck, and speed and the ability to hunt, and he gave other animals other things. And by the time Prometheus perfected his human being in the image of the gods, he reached into the bag for something that he could protect himself with, and there were no weapons. The human being is naked, has no thick skin, has no natural weapons. We have very weak fingernails, very small teeth. We don't have a thick skin to protect us. We're not fast. We're not agile. Our eyes are so-so, our ears are so-so, but the dog, his ears are 1,000 times better. His nose is 1,000 times better. The eagle's eyesight is 1,000 times better. We just have, all we have is our brain. That's it. And that's why Prometheus stole fire from the gods, techne. He stole technology, which humans could make fire, which was the basis of technology, and from fire we could do everything. And with our intelligence and technology, we conquered the world. But anyway, that goes beyond the point of this story. So, the lion was blinded by love, agreed to have his weapons removed, and then when he didn't have teeth and claws, the shepherd sent his dog after him, and the lion couldn't defend himself, and the dog did away with the lion. And this idea of blinded by love, it says here that the lion, blinded by affection, obeyed the artful man's deception, or direction, but it was a deception as well. Well, this harkens back to the story of Samson and Delilah. Samson, in the Old Testament, had superhuman strength, and he married a woman, Delilah. He fell in love with her, and she was actually a spy who was sent there to find out the secret of Samson's power so they could take that away from him and defeat him. And Delilah was a spy for the Philistines, and Samson, he was at war with the Philistines, his people. So anyway, she tricked him, and he told her that, well, if you cut my hair, I'll lose my strength. So while he slept, she cut his hair, tied him up, and they came and captured him, and they blinded him. They took a hot stake and poked his eyes out. He was blinded by love. Well, this lion was also blinded by love. And it says, O love, when bound by you, prudence, to thee we say adieu. We say goodbye to prudence. You have to be prudent. You have to be smart. You have to know what you're doing. You can't let your mind just evaporate because you're in love. And this comes in when there's a man who has a lot of wealth and businesses and things like that. When he gets married, he wants to have a prenuptial agreement. And then, of course, the woman, oh, you don't trust me. You think our marriage is going to fail. Oh, how dare you ask me for a prenuptial agreement? And then he becomes blinded by love, and he probably won't go through with the prenuptial agreement. And then if the marriage fails, she gets most of the stuff that he spent a lifetime accumulating because he was blinded by love. His prudence disappeared. He listened to her, and he saw her tears, which may have been crocodile tears. And once you get to family court, it's no surprise that family court favors the woman. And many men every day are destroyed by family courts. They can't see their children. They lose a lot of their assets. They pay untold amounts of money, and they come away broken, and many men end up destitute or worse. A lot of men basically stop living after a bad divorce. It's very common, and it's a terrible situation. And a lot of men are not getting married these days because they understand the dangers of getting married and being divorced and being chewed up and spit out by the family court system. And yeah, it's not nice. It's terrible. Most men would love to be married, but just the state of the way things are these days, it's just not a very good thing for men. It's a great thing for women. I would encourage my daughters to get married and have families young while they're in their physical prime, and they have the best chance of having the best kids they can have and enjoy that part of their life and hopefully stay happy and married their whole lives. But if the marriage fails, at least they can have their children young, and later on when children are old enough to not need constant care, they can carry on and have a fruitful life and a career if they wish. And if they divorce, they can have a second chance at marriage or another relationship, something like that. But for a son, I'd have to give my sons, if I had sons, totally different advice. Marriage is wonderful for women with the family court on their side, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a man. I've always been pro-marriage. If somebody could just prove to me how marriage benefits me, I'd get married in a heartbeat, but I've been saying that for 30 plus years. Anyway, this is getting long. If you have anything you'd like to add, down below, please. Until next time, goodbye. Love you. Have a good one.